At one point or another, everyone considers the possibility of the world ending. Most people try to just shrug it off and assume nothing like that will happen in their lifetime. When this topic is brought up, there are a lot of wild speculations that are made. A giant meteor crashing into Earth, or the world as we know it getting swept into a black hole. Others believe the end will be caused by the rapture. But there are more realistic ways to approach this topic. Although planet Earth may survive forever, it's likely humans won't. At least not if we continue to live our lives the same way as they are now. Here are 5 realistic ways the world could end. Number 1 on this list is overpopulation. Overpopulation is discussed quite often, but most people seem to equip the "someone else will take care of it" attitude. While scientists are certainly working towards producing resources artificially, there's no guarantee that anything besides a global effort will solve this problem. There are about 250 births per minute in the world, compared to only 105 people dying per minute. Every second, there's typically an overall higher amount of people on the planet than the second before. There's just simply not enough Russians shooting RPGs out of windows for fun in order for natural selection to solve this issue. Asia and Africa alone make up for over 35% of the world's population, and that percentage is rising. By the year 2050, Nigeria alone is expected to have a population greater than all of the United States. At least I think it's Nigeria. I'm not really good with African countries. The amount of people on this planet isn't necessarily the main reason overpopulation is destroying this planet. The frivolous overuse of the world's resources in many parts of the world makes up for the majority of this depletion. Many parts of the world don't have consumable water, and this could occur in many first world countries within only years of now. Number 2 on this list is disease. In order to cover this, I need to break it down into 2 sections: immunoresistant or non-treatable disease, and engineered disease. There are many diseases in the world that are now preventable with immunizations. There are also many other diseases that are treatable with antibiotics. But with the overuse of antibiotics, these diseases begin to mutate. Like any living thing, they want to survive, so they adapt to their surroundings. I'll try not to get too specific, but as a disease is continually treated with antibiotics, it begins to mutate in order to survive. It's expected that very soon, many common, previously curable diseases, such as infections, will no longer respond to antibiotics. Or, many other diseases, previously preventable with immunizations, will no longer be able to be prevented. If this were to happen, and scientists didn't come up with an answer quick enough, it would only be a matter of time until it spread to us all. Another real possibility are engineered diseases. Unlike creating treatments in a lab, there are those that specifically create diseases that are deadly, highly infectious, easily spread, and difficult to treat. If this tactic were used in war on a global level, the outcome would be utterly catastrophic. Now that we're all in a good mood, let's move on to number 3, nuclear war. While wars have been going on for years, and many countries have had the scare of nuclear war, it's luckily not something that has come to its worst case scenario. No, I'm not forgetting about what happened to Japan in World War II. We go hard in the US, and that was horrible. But imagine an attack like that happening to a country that was able to respond with nuclear force of their own. Out of the 9 countries that possess nuclear weapons, or WMDs as we call them in the States, the US and Russia have 90% of them. There are over 15,000. If only 100, or 0.006% of them were used in war, the world would be devastated. Of course, millions of people would perish immediately. Those in the surrounding areas of where the bombs were deployed would suffer from radiation poisoning, with many of them dying in the days, weeks, and months after the detonations. But that's not even the worst part. An attack of that size would produce 5 teragrams, which is 5 billion kilograms, of black soot. This black soot would rise up to the Earth's stratosphere, blocking the sun and leaving us all in the dark. This would cause a drop in temperature that could last for 25 years. This would also destroy the Earth's ozone layer and cause as much as an 80% increase in UV levels later on. The world would become inhabitable, and unless humans found another planet to live on, they would all eventually die as a result of the nuclear warfare. Number 4 is, well, I don't know. It is totally possible that the end of the world is coming for us right now. We don't know what it is, and therefore we can't possibly prepare for it. It may or may not be related to anything on this list. The fact that we as humans continue to discover things means that there are still many things that have not been discovered. To put it simply, we don't know everything. We can all do our best to prepare for bad things happening, but if we don't know what the bad things are, we end up preparing for the wrong things. And finally, number 5 on this list is the snowball effect. This theory would mean that everything we've discussed on this list would join force and snowball out of control. The lack of resources in the world would cause disease and starvation. Disease and starvation would cause desperation for survival. That desperation would lead to war, and war would lead to more death, disease, and destruction of resources. Many experts say that this will happen within only a couple hundred years at the pace we are going. But it isn't too late. It is possible that humans could start living differently. We could all help create resources rather than wasting them. Recycling is an actual thing. Not wasting water is possible. You can physically turn your water off when you're brushing your teeth and not using it. Try it, it actually works. It's very easy to conceptualize the world ending as something that won't happen in your lifetime. And while you may be able to get some peace of mind that way, it's also a very selfish, distorted way of viewing this. Whether you're alive then or not, others will be. Many of them you would grow deeply to care about had you been alive to meet them. Descendants of your family will be there. People just like your children, mom, dad, brother, sister, best friend, etc. They will be there. What kind of world do you want to leave them? Are you okay contributing towards them dying in a painful, awful way? Or do you want to be proud and do whatever you can to help? Everyone can make a difference, and it will take everyone to solve this problem. Let it start with you. Exit your bubble you call life and pay attention to what matters. It isn't on Facebook, and no number of likes will solve it. What we now consider reality means we've lost touch with it altogether. Look into things, try to find answers, inform your friends and family. You can make more of a difference than you know. This isn't meant to lecture or talk down on anyone. I'm guilty of more things than you could imagine. But once we become aware of a problem, once we know we can make a difference, we become responsible. And that's where we're at. Be kind to one another. Be grateful for what you have in life. See what you can do to help someone today. I promise the result will be worth it. I love you guys, and I'll see you all soon.